it hadn't hit that intrusion beam, I could repair this and feel good about it. All right, so Paul just came up and brought us his high country that he tagged a deer in a while ago.
My kid, not me.
Oh, sorry, his kid tagged a deer. So we're gonna get this taken care of, get it fixed for him, and luckily, we just did a high country. We know how to do it.
Thank you, sir.
We're gonna start pulling the grill out of Paul's truck so we can start fixing it. We have to pull the grill off, headlight out, pull the bed off. Working on the last bolt, pull the grill out. We already got the, I think it's called a headlight filler piece that went wrapped around the backside of the headlight and underneath it. Got the side shield removed.
So you're saying if they have those little locks on there, you gotta snap them out of...
Slide it so it unlocks.
So if anybody out there that's doing that...
Making people crazy for years. So we'll have to get the headlight out and look for damage behind the headlight.
So that's why you always look for internal damage, because you couldn't see that.
Now we'll get working on the headlight and get it pulled out.
So see, this headlight is
garbage,
demolished. We got two right number 10s there. We got one on the side here. Thank you, Billy.
Now there should be one front lower, right?
Pieces falling everywhere. Don't want to scratch nothing.
There we go.
Okay, there is a broken headlight, driver's side. I'm doing these two torques for the tail lights. We got to remove both tail lights on each side. Then we're going to do the tailgate.
No, we're leaving the tailgate on.
Oh, we're leaving the tailgate on.
Oh, you broke it.
Did I?
Didn't you hear that crack?
I didn't break nothing.
There, you broke it again.
Now it popped out, now under the wires. Okay, we got this light out, both sides. It's on to removing the rear bumper, then the bed. Am I right, Hillbilly?
Mm-hmm. Okay, now I'm working on the bedside step. These are just held in with clips. And this should just slide off like that. And then this is held in with two clips underneath. I want to say there's screws on the top, if I remember right. Okay, I got the footstep done. Me and Cole's been working on the splash shield. Missed a bolt.
Uh-oh. You really don't miss bolts.
When they're black on black, it's hard to see.
Hey, everybody. I'm just under here looking for the bed bolts. And I found them.
That's a bed bolt right there.
But there's this motor in the way. And that's the motor that goes for the side step.
That's for air ride.
Side step. The wires are going to the side step. I got the two fronts undone.
You mean the four fronts?
Four fronts undone. I'm gonna move to the back. I think there's two more left. And then this bed is unbolted. All we'll have left is just to unplug the wires. But we can't unplug that yet because we gotta be able to open the tailgate.
What does that do?
Why are you playing with me? It's loud. Last bolt right here. The bed has no more bolts in it. There you go.
Are you sure that all the bed bolts are out? Can't pick up on a spare tire.
Yep. Now should we do the bumper?
All right, so all this working on Paul and Michelle's trucks got me hungry, so it's time for lunch. Let's go eat. All right, so I'd like to thank today's sponsor, Just Meats, for sponsoring this video. We have a very busy schedule. Just Meats makes it super easy for us to cook lunch and be healthy and be affordable. The convenience of pre-cooked, pre-seasoned meat is ready in just 2 minutes. My favorite, smoked Texas brisket. Just Meats has made it super easy and convenient for you to order your meals and set it up on a subscription. The quality of Just Meats is unsurpassed. There's no artificial colors, no artificial flavors. It's grass-fed and grass-finished beef. So you can take half of the portions out, cook it, put the rest in your fridge, and it's gonna stay good for up to 14 days. They have like 4.9 stars and like 1,600 verified reviews. So we're gonna take our roasted diced chicken breast marinade, pulled pork marinade, and our asada marinade. It's already fully cooked, we're just reheating. Just Meats as simple as 1, 2, 3. 1, meaning order. 2, reheat. 3, enjoy. This is my pork taco. This pulled pork is absolutely delicious. 8.7 out of 10. Use Robby 15 at checkout. Stack $15 on top of their already 25% off of a new subscription for your first time order. Now, let's get back to work. Colton, he's bagged up the leftovers because it was that good. I'm getting brownie points when I take it home. He's taking it home for dinner.
All right, so Hillbilly and Colton and Cody have gotten this tore down. Cody is currently working on the supplement, but Robby told me to come in and mark all the damage that I see on this side. Paint chips. There's a dent right here. There's a big old dent right there. There's a little dent right here. A dent right here. a scratch right here, some rubbing right here. I don't know if that's from the deer hitting or not, but we're gonna fix it. There's some damage right here. I think we'll just be able to buff that off. Then there's some more damage on the tailgate. This isn't from the deer, but we're gonna fix it anyway. Scratch right here. We're also gonna fix that anyway. So there's a few things on here that we noticed that weren't part of the deer hitting them, so we're just gonna fix them. There's yellow paint all over the truck. I think that is from yellow paint on the road, that they wet yellow paint that they drove through. So we're gonna try and remove all that here. It's on the splash shields, it's everywhere. The grill is broken, the headlight is broken. We have lots of things to fix. So that's what we're gonna start doing, is fixing the truck.
Okay, all right, we got Fab Rats moved over into my side of the shop because we got another project going on over in the mechanic shop at the moment. Okay, we'll start where Colton and Hillbilly already got like bumper, headlights, and a bunch of stuff off. I'll start on the fender, work my way back. We'll get the emblems and we'll hit the door. On this, Colton, my hands aren't hand model material, man. We'll come through and pop the High Country emblem off, put a new one back on because who wants to retape all these? Okay, got the mountains off. Okay, we're moving on to the doors. Got a couple little pieces off here, taking out the last 7mm bolt, screw. I don't know, we really wouldn't call that a bolt. Come through, we'll pop the panel off so we can get to the appliques. All the little clippies out of there. Hook your cable. Got time for GM's big old fun plug right here. Got it undone so we can access the mirror. Take off the upper trim so it lets us get to all the pleats on the outside. Everything's just snapped together these days on vehicles. So yeah, this gives us access to the little cover out here. We pop this off. Gives us access to the wiring and bolts for the mirror, which Colton's gonna have to set the camera down because that's an expensive and heavy mirror. It just mounts in here like this. 4 big studs, 2 plugs, one for the optical for the camera, and one with everything that's in these mirrors these days. The blind spots, heaters, power up and down, everything. So got the mirror off. GM's been mounting them down here lately, the last few years. So they put a cover right here that you get access from the inside. Okay, get little plugs off. I don't know if, let me see if I can shine my line up in there. You can show them the screws we got to access. Get those 2 off, pop it off. It's got clips holding it on too. Coming with my little wedge so we can get power on them. There's no way they always break. Every once in a while, you get lucky and they don't. There we go, it breaks. So it's got the 2 screws and the little orange clip that always breaks, and these are spendy per piece, like $8-9 a whack. But now that we got that off, it lets us access the rivet here. Once we get this off, there's another rivet we got to drill off up here. Pop the clip, pull this off, remove the belt molding and door handle, and then we'll have this one stripped and ready to go. This has got plastic clips that hold it. They call it a belt molding, I guess, since it's in the middle of the vehicle. My only guess. I don't know why they call it a belt. Our Spanish workers, though, the one from Colombia, told me they call them window lickers in Colombia. Now that we got that off, these are easy to pop off. They got these little tabs that go right in there that lock on the back. You just got to get in there just right. There's no way to access to pinch the ears on the back, so you can get in here, give it some pressure. They always bust no matter what. So that gives us access now to both the rivets. If you try to drill all the way through on plastic and you get that rivet spinning, it's easier to get a size bigger bit to drill and pop the head off. Then you can remove your plastic piece that's holding in so you don't melt it and make the hole bigger. And this will just slide down off the lip of the door. This is off. Run channel, you just pull up. And that's stripped on the top part of the door. So we'll come back, pop out what's left of the clips and the rivets so we can paint it with none of them in there. Now on the door handle, people's noticed, got you buttons on a lot of these newer cars. We got to roll the window back up so we can get to the plug on the inside of the door handle so we can get the door handle out. And that's why your run channels are in there, is so your window doesn't go up and smack the top of the door. Got a dust shield, water barrier, vapor barrier, depends on the manufacturer and what it's called. And you can see just right in here, there's the plug we got to undo for the handle. Okay, we got the plug undone. Go through that little hole in there. And the way GM designed these is you pull out And once you remove your handles, your doors will not latch because it keeps the latch in the open position. There's your handle. Here's your door lock cover and everything. And before we get ready to paint, because when you drop these, it'll latch the door for some reason. We always undo these, drop them down so we can mask the inside, so we don't get paint inside the door to get overspray on the window and all that. But front door is done for now. All right, now we've moved to the interior. We've got to drop the headliner to access the spoiler on the back of the cab. I've been going through, popping stuff off the headliner. You got these little caps. We'll undo all these screws here, 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 and here, and I've already got the number 10s out here, so we can pull these pillars off and undo these. And when GM designed this headliner, at first I didn't like it because I did not know how it worked. They made it so the visors stay attached to the headliner when you drop it, so once you figured out, it's actually quicker and easier than the old way to do it. You just have 400,000 wires up on top of the headliner you got to be careful with. And on the sun visor clip, you come up from the bottom, there is a little notch right there to slide this in perfectly. And right now you don't see the interior lights on. One reason for that is we got the doors open, don't want to drain the batteries, and when you're trying to look up and find stuff, you don't want the dome lights, these LED dome lights shining in your eyeballs. And this will be the last screw I got to pull out, and we'll leave it hanging up.
So I just got back. I've been up and I had to go to Salt Lake today, but we got back. Most of the truck is torn down. So all the blue is all the damage we're going to be fixing on Paul's truck. So we got the front door all torn apart, got the emblem off, back door's all torn apart. We got it ready. Running board, we're still gonna take off. We're still gonna take the spoiler, back window, front window, headliner, all that stuff's coming out. Bed's ready to come off. Me and Cody are gonna pull this tailgate off. That way we can get our bed lift in here. With these new power assisted tailgates, it come with 2.5 miles of wiring. So what we're gonna do, this tailgate and the bumper are not part of the insurance claim, but because it's here and because we like fab rats, we're gonna be fixing all these little dents and scratches on the tailgate, and these little chips on the rear bumper. Cody's gonna grab the lift, we'll get this bed off, tailgate off, and this thing will just about be all torn apart and ready for body work.
Okay, me and Colton's got the bed lift king bed lift on the bed for Paul's truck, so we can lift it straight up and off, because on the GMs, for some reason, they got the bracket that runs up underneath the bed. So you either got to lift up the rear of the bed, take a chance at hitting the cab and scratching it, but this is where this comes in handy from Lift King.
Going up. Like a boat winch.
Okay, we got plenty of clearance to go straight up.
Coming straight up.
Wanting to kick a little bit. Yeah, let me come to that side.
Like it?
Looks like we're close enough. We'll find out.
Coming back.
Yep.
Okay, kick it that way a little bit. All right. It's easier going down than up.
Yeah.
Weird.
It's been sitting outside. It might need a little TLC on a couple of the joints. And there you go. There you have it. We got the bed off, and I think that's it for today. Tomorrow we'll finish what little we got left with the glass and headliner. As Robby would say, it's tomorrow. All right, well, it's the next day. Me and Hillbilly and Colton, I just have a few things left on this. Me and Robby can get to the body work in a little bit. We got the tailgate off. We got to strip the guts out of it, get the handle out. And the headliner's ready to drop. We've got to pull windshield, back window, and then we'll get to the spoiler last because all the bolts are hid up under the headliner.
Okay, as you can hear, Cody's finishing up cutting the front window out. I got the bedside top cap pulled off, the tailgate latch is pulled out, and the cable's pulled off, and the tailgate cap pulled off. I got the rear seat, the back pad part pulled out, and we have to drop the headliner so we can get this back spoiler off to get the black glass out. It's almost completely stripped to where they can start doing body work.
Windows free on this side. Let's go check the other side, make sure it's ready to pull out. Ooh, yep, it's ready to go. She's out, not broke.
I'm gonna try not to play with body filler because it ends up having to get redone like 10 times by me and then once by Cody or Robby.
These are small little dings, except the rear door. That's Robby's. He spoke it. He wants to fix it, so.
I'll just film Cody so nothing gets messed up worse or doesn't have to be redone 20 times by me and once by Cody or Robby. Oh, I broke it. Okay, I got my clip pop. Now you just gotta wait for Cody to get his pop.
Yeah, and this is why we dropped the headliner.
Just for this spoiler.
Just to get to the bolts up here on the nuts and bolts up here on the spoiler. I'll get this off to take that out.
Spoiler's removed. Now Cody gets to cut a rear window out.
Huh. One more. We'll show Hillbilly. you've got to make sure you don't cut where the track is. It's glued onto the window. So you've got to make sure you're against the cab, not scratch the cab, not break the plastic track on the window.
We'll let Cody do it because, as Robby always says, I don't have enough finesse for certain things, and this is one of those certain things.
He does have a point. And we use water as a little bit of a lubrication to make the blade glide easier between the urethane and keep the urethane cool so it don't heat up and get sticky. As far as we can go with this blade, so I'll switch to the drag knife to go along the top. And when I use the drag knife, I start with the short blade, don't cut all the way through the urethane, so it makes it easier. You're not trying to cut everything all at once.
Why not? It'd be faster.
Okay, had to get Colton Hillbilly over here to help me on the bottom of the window. Watch your hand. Let me make sure this corner's good. Okay, push out on that corner, see. All right, window's cut out, and we've got to pop the 4 clips out in the corners.
There we go.
Okay, motor's coming with it. All right, those guys are going to be trying to find a place for that rear window, but we got it cut out. Right here, there's the clips that we had to pop free, but got the window out. And the reason we pull the glass and everything is so we can come to the factory edges right through here from when we're painting for fixing that little dent. We had to pull the roof molding, the spoiler, and everything right here just for this little dent so we can make sure we get a proper paint job and everything's done to quality. So now it is time to start body work. Got the spots through and ground down that I need to pull. We'll be using the Maxi, the Dent Fix Maxi right here, and using the key system because where it popped in here, we got kind of a buckle, little eyebrow, whatever people call them. Everyone's got their own terms. But I'll put right through here so I can get even pulling pressure so I can come and tap this in and get this to flatten out. And then leave that one for Robby. That one's going to take a while.
Why would you want it flattened out? The door is kind of contoured.
Well, instead of dented in, we'll pull the dent out. I'll do a light pull, light pressure on that one. It shouldn't need too much pressure. Starting to work out slowly. Hillbilly had a good idea. We readjusted the bar this way so it's just on the door. Not a lot of room to hammer, but we don't gotta hit too hard.
Where's your stubby?
Probably in my toolbox. Out just a little bit still. Get a little more pressure. Take off some pressure. Little teeny ding and a little teeny high spot. So when I pull through here, I'll just come back and hammer and it should come out. All right, we got done with the metal work here on the door. Let me try to camera this and show you guys. We got the hump out of it. Right there, just a little bit of pulling left, right. Here on the body line, just barely. We'll get that pulled. Got that one taken care of up there by the mare, the one above it. When we come back to the cab corner, got it. So just a little bit more work on the body line on the door. Metal work will be done on the cab, and then we'll move over to the bed. We're going to take care of the scratch on this bumper for them while we got it in here and tore apart. Here, the little dings through here, the scratch there. A couple chips while we're at it here on the bed. And we'll get the normal tailgate marks from owning a pickup fixed up and cleaned for them, and we'll have this under primer by the end of the day. All right, we've come back through here and got the body line taken care of. Everything's feathered out, ready for filler work. And don't mind the bad cameraing because I'm not used to selfie and stuff. But we found a bunch of chips, more scratches. Not too bad really on the tailgate, but we got that. Now it's time to start filler work and hopefully call it a day soon. All right, we got the first round of filler done. I'm saving you guys the horror of sanding for all you anti-sanders on the channel. So we got the filler done, we got the icing put on. Going through fixing a bunch of chips on the bottom of the door from those meat eaters right there. We'll have that knocked down and under primer pretty soon. Bumper, tailgate, just a little bit of icing on it, glaze, and then we'll be done. So we'll be back just in a little bit and let you guys see the finished product before we prime it. All right, we got everything masked up, the etch primer on. I finally have a cameraman back so we can show you a little more. Getting ready to get this primed, and then Robby's going to attempt that rear door. Well, not attempt it, but he's going to go to get that rear door fixed. So we'll get this primed and get her over to paint pretty soon. Got coat 1 done. Give her about 10 minutes and then we'll get the other coat, and then after the 4th coat we'll be good to go. All right, we're on to the last coat of primer. Just got to put a little bit on the cab corner and the door. Gonna throw 1 extra coat over the bodywork just to make sure everything's good and will block out good. All right, that's it for the primer.
All right, and we are getting back to work on Paul and Michelle's truck from Fab Rats. So as you guys already know, somebody on their team, and I'm not gonna say who it is.
Kid, not me.
Oh, but I think it was their son. Don't say anything. They hit the deer in the front, and that deer decided to barrel roll down the side. So as you can see, we've got all the body work done. We had Cody helping out. You guys have seen Cody and Hillbilly tore it apart, but the back door didn't get fixed. And the reason for that is we're changing the door, and I'm gonna explain to you why we're changing the door. So right here, you can see a crease that goes on an angle. What that is that's called your intrusion beam. So the deer smacked the skin and it wrapped the skin around the intrusion beam. So the intrusion beam has been hit. So therefore, we're changing the door because that's a safety item. Your intrusion beam is ultra high strength steel. It's the piece of metal that's reinforced that keeps you safe. So if you're inside this little thin piece of metal, not gonna keep you safe. But that intrusion beam, that's gonna keep you safe. It's designed to take energy and absorb it and not injure you. But I wanna show you guys how to fix it. Even though we're not gonna use it, we are gonna change the door. We're gonna fix that. So I've got Hillbilly here. He's gonna finish stripping the door down, and we're gonna actually get this to where we're not gonna pull the door off yet because I wanna use my bridge puller to get the skin back out. And then we'll show you on the inside later the reason why we're changing it. And don't tell them, but we're gonna detail it too. So do not go over and comment that we're gonna take care of the inside of the truck also. Don't do it. That would be super, super bad. I wouldn't want you to leave a comment on their channel, so don't do that. Yeah.
Okay, so first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna finish taking this rubber door sill all the way off. It's held in together with these little clips. You gotta push ears together and pull them out. You gotta get the speaker off, inner door panel cover off, roll the window down a little bit, unbolt the window, pull this window guide out, window comes out, and then just slowly start taking everything out piece by piece. Pull this off.
What are called window lickers.
That's a window licker. Now I want to unbolt the window regulator. All you gotta do is just get a 13 millimeter wrench, stick it on the back side, take the nut off, and then you spin it back in and tighten it down. Now it's good to go again. Okay, and the way you get this off of the pillar, push down here. As you can see, it's just a little clip that pushes in. Pull it out and get the rubber off. Pop the little white lock out. Push the little tab down right there. And it pops off. Okay, so I got the door completely stripped down now. So now it's just a hollow shell. So that way Robby can pull it and work it and do his magic on it.
I'm gonna show you guys a little trick. Y'all ready for this? All right. She's good as new. She's fixed. Okay, just kidding. But now you can see, so I popped it from the back. We're still creased here. We're creased there. We have a big old eyebrow here. We got another one there. And we got a big one that's followed our intrusion beam. So we've got to bring all this metal back out. We're gonna get my maxi and we're gonna key it and we're gonna pull it. So step number 2, since popping it out with your palm is step number 1, step number 2 is going to be grinding all the paint off. All right, so the next step, now that I've got this all ground, is I want to feather out my edges with a DA with 80 grit. So for those of you that don't know what a DA is, it's a dual action sander. Got 80 grit Sia paper. We're gonna feather it in. Next step, clear it all out. So now that I've got it all DA'd and it's feeling smooth, I can really feel my eyebrows. So right there, you can see a difference in the metal sheen. That's my eyebrow that's around, that's sitting on the intrusion beam. So I need to bring this whole line out. This has got a tin can to it. So I need to stretch the metal out here, tappy tap, bring it out here, bring it out here, get rid of that eyebrow. And I'm gonna show you exactly how to do that. So I'm gonna set up a bunch of keys and then we'll do the pulls. Right, now that I've got those set up, I'm going to set up some keys down here and some keys here. I wanna raise this whole area out before I tap any of this in. All right, now that I've got these set, what I'm gonna do is grab my bridge and my rod and I'm gonna pull all these, but I'm not gonna use the hammer. I want to just relieve some stress, and then I'm gonna line up my line and I'm gonna put pins on that, and then I'm gonna pull with the bridge puller there and tap all my highs. We're gonna pull each section individually. So this is why the door is still installed, is we wanted to bridge across to the front door. All right, now we're just gonna walk the metal out. Oh, okay, that's where we'll stop. So we'll move on to the next section and we'll just do that all the way through. You see the metal coming out? Yeah. Then I'll release it and we'll move to the top. We're just bringing out our low spots where we have eyebrows. I'm gonna resituate my bridge puller right there. I can see it pulling. It's coming out pretty dang good. I've got some there too, but I don't want to work that yet. Perfect.
Dude, that scared me.
Good. Now we'll move to the next. Coming. Now we're gonna move to this last one. And now that I've got that metal pretty well where I want it, I think what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna twist all these off. All right, so now that I'm feeling this, I think what I'm gonna do before I do keys here is I'm gonna put my puller back on and I'm just gonna make a bunch of pulls and try to get this metal back out. Again, I'm not messing with my eyebrow right here, but I do want to raise this out, raise that out, raise this out.
Oh yeah, that was good pull.
And as I'm pulling, you'll be able to see the metal relaxing around it. Now it's kind of springy because I'm not hammering anything yet. All right, I am gonna hammer this now. It's not bad. I've got this whole bottom lip that's got some out. Whoa, don't do that.
That was right there.
This bottom's not bad. Needs to come out here still. Okay, see how that's moving? I'm gonna tap this. I need to pull right there and tap a little. You can actually hear when the metal starts to move. See that flung back in. Still gonna key this whole thing.
You do that at boom, boom to the bottom.
Yeah, it's because we got displaced metal that we need to. So we don't have enough metal down here. We have too much up here. So I'm trying to just work this area out, and then we'll do the hammering. It'll all make sense here in a minute. So what I'm gonna do is mark out where I want to put keys. We got all the keys set. Now we're gonna pull some pressure and get some metal moved around. How's that for some preciseness? Now that I've got pressure on it, it's sunk that in, but we're not gonna tap down there. I'm gonna go ahead and grab my little hammer. I'm gonna start working my line out. I just want to massage it I can feel two different ribs because the intrusion beam. We're gonna have to do some pulling, some normal pulling there too, because I can feel that this is tin canning. So I can feel that eyebrows going away right here. Now we're gonna move the bridge puller back. Oh, that feels way good. So now we're gonna focus this area. We're gonna really direct our pressure right where we're at. Now if you over tap it, that's fine. We can go back through and we can massage what needs massaged. Okay, we've got it all pulled. Now it's time to pull all these keys off. All right, so what I like to do now is get a fresh feel for what I'm working on. So I'll take my grinder. I'm not gonna mess with this lower stuff because I'm pretty much good from there, but I do know that I need a little bit of pulling through here, a lot of bit through here, and I'm gonna kind of knock those down. So I'm just gonna take my grinder, lightly grind the heads off. This is gonna show me my super bad spots. So I can see right there needs to pull all the way around. I need to pull here, I need to pull there, here, everywhere, and right through there. There's like a, it's like a hit there. I don't like the way that feels on my hands. This is just preference. So I'm gonna buzz it with some 80 grit. Take that crazy weird feeling off. And now we can start here and start getting this worked around. If it hadn't hit that intrusion beam, I could repair this and feel good about it. So I went ahead and I fine-tuned all my metal. Now this is not metal finished. You know, there's people out there in the world that can metal finish, and I'm just not one of those. There's people that can like take 150 hours and they can get this perfect. Well, you know what? I'm a body technician, so it's very, very close. Now it just needs a skim coat. So what I'm gonna do next, I'm gonna actually pull the door off and we're gonna lay it on the stand just because it's easier than working on my knees, and I don't wanna mess this front door up that we've already got fixed. I'll show you inside why we're replacing it. 1, 2, 3, 4, oh, it looks like 5. Just a few little holes that I pulled through the metal. So I've got my welder real, real low so I don't melt it too bad. All right, now I'll grind it up and we'll get some skim coat and get this thing filled. Step number 27.5.8. Put your gloves on. Takes 2 seconds. Hurry and mix up a little bit of plastic filler and we'll get this all spread. And here, we're just gonna have a happy little accident. You're just gonna put a little bit of color here, a little bit of color there. Take your time. I went ahead and I edged out the door with tape. That's because I don't want to have to sand it. I do not like filler on paint. So I go right to the edge. I know I'm going to sand it off. My problem is I really like to overwork things on accident. But the smoother you make this, the easier your sanding is going to be. And stop. You might think that's a lot. That's pretty thin. When I was pulling here, I could see metal. That's probably about 1/8 of an inch. It's just fine, because most of that's gonna get sanded off. All right, I've let this harden up. Now I'm gonna cut it with some 80 grit on my long block. Make sure you wear a mask. Colton's even got a mask, because we care about him. All right, now this might look bad to some of you, but this is really good. This shows how light our skim coat was. You can literally see metal in a lot of different places. And we've had to tap a few little spots, but we went ahead and de-ate all our edges. I'm gonna spread my second coat of body filler, really, really light, really tight, so we can get this all feathered in. Now, you can't be afraid to block on your panel and to really use your panel to flow this in. So I'm gonna get this glazed and get this door finished up. And now we spread. Just palleting it on, smoothing it out, rubbing it in, covering all of our imperfections. All right, so now that I've got my glaze all spread, I've got my 180 on my blocks, I'm gonna hurry and take about an hour and sand this. Okay, you can watch for a minute and then you can go on an intermission. Two and a half hours later, you can see this looks pretty transparent, and I just want to point that out. Like, some body technicians might be like, oh my gosh, You can see through that. Ah! Well, that's because I used an acrylic block. This acrylic block gets these things laser straight. So all my glaze is meant for is a glaze coat, just the most tiny, tiny little bit. So like you can see it's covered, but it almost seems transparent. Now we have a little bit of metal here. You cannot even feel it. That's how good these acrylic blocks work. You run your hand across it into a trained set of mittens. As you can see right here, I've already sanded this edge. So from here down, I'm fully done. I've just got to sand that edge, and then we're going to 320 DA this. I'll show you why, because if you were going to prime this, and if this was a real door that you were going to use, you would want to feather out all your 180 scratches. And by doing that, you use a DA, which is a dual action sander, with some 320 grit, and we're going to just sand this whole area out here. This is what we're doing, is we're deleting scratches. So out here past the filler, past the glaze, so right here you can see scratches. Watch this. They're gone. And what that does is that eliminates shrinking and sand scratches in your body work. Now if we prime over those, what's gonna happen is the primer's gonna, you got scratches, the primer's gonna go over it like this. And over time, it's gonna shrink and go down in, and scratches are gonna show up, and you're gonna have to redo it. So make sure you delete your scratches all the way through. So I've got it all DA'd, I've got everything 320'd. So in theory, if you were gonna prime this, you're gonna prime the whole section. I've sanded over here, I've got my edge all rounded off. And then what I did is I blew this off, and you're looking for pinholes. So I see a few pinholes here. We've actually got a compound that we've put on this that take care of pinholes. Not gonna do that, because we're not gonna use this. You guys have now been walked through how to fix Paul and Michelle's dent on their high country. All right, so we want to thank Just Meats for sponsoring today's video. They loved it, I loved it, you're gonna love it. Make sure you use Robby15 at checkout. You're gonna be saving $15, and you're gonna be able to stack that on 25% off with all new subscription orders. So, as always, we appreciate you. If you enjoyed this video, go check out this one.